Shalom Yashrala, this your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for your Akim pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here article, which is, as we're getting closer and closer to the end, these prophecies are speaking more and more loud and clear, Now it's becoming more and more clear that, you've been basically among the true men of the Lord, all right? A prophet have been among you, all right? And what we've been saying is true, and that the Most High reigneth in the kingdom of men, all right? Because, see, this is all going according to his plan, his will, and his prophecies, all right? And a lot of these same people that's out here protesting these things and so-called standing up for their rights are the same people that was calling us nuts when we were trying to give them that warning. All right. So for, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, don't get caught off guard like these people now that's out here crying and whining because they think this is unfair and everything else like that. Hey, these are the same people say, oh, no, I ain't worried about that. That's not going to affect me. Oh, I ain't got to worry about that. This is not. Now, all of a sudden, they got to go out there and look for another job. And not just that, the noose is getting tighter around your neck. All right. And this is just with the things that's going on right here in your face. How much more dealing with the Most High? All right. You're not going to be able to go and beg and ask for some sympathy. All right. If you don't take heed to the Most High. All right. And then shit start coming down the pipeline and then you get covered in it. All right. Just like these people. It says time to resist. Republicans denounce Biden mandate as absolutely unconstitutional, claims he has zero authority to do it. All right. It says U.S. President Joe Biden just announced plan to force, all right, participation by having federal regulators mandated for business under threat of fines is already being denounced as illegal by critics who are urging resistance. Now, we get flagged a lot. I got two channels down right now. One was for hate speech. The other one for quote unquote medical misinformation for telling you that they were going to do these things. And here it is. Your president himself, all right, saying these things out of his own mouth. But just because we say it before they say it, don't mean that we're over here spreading lies or rumors and things like that. But nevertheless, hey, man, again, we were giving you warning before it came to pass. All right, it's not really warning you if we're telling you certain things while it's happening. To warn somebody's like, hey, man, don't mess with that dog will bite you. Right? That's warning somebody before it happens. All right, now the dog's already biting your ass, but hey, don't mess with the dog will bite you. Like, I'm already getting bit. That's not really a warning, at that point in time. All right. But nevertheless, this is what the Lord set us up to do, is to warn our people. It says, as part of a 6-pronged path out of the pandemic, first announced by the White House on Thursday by OSHA and the Department of Labor, will enact a rule mandating participation for businesses with 100 or more employees. Right? Think about that. Now, unless you really work for a small mom and pop's business, mostly all companies have more than 100 employees. Now, they can go up corporate, right? And say, like, let's say you work in a small location. Let's say your local Pizza Hut, right? Well, you may only have, let's say, 20 or 30 employees that work in this here Pizza Hut. But how much more, if they look at it from the parent company, like, well, Pizza Hut as a whole employs thousands of people, maybe not in one location. All right. But nevertheless, they keep, again, tightening the noose slowly but surely. All right. It says Biden is also requiring all federal employees and anyone contracting with the government, more than 2.5 million people, to participate or else. All right. And we already understand and we already know what's going on to these things. All right. MSNBC host Stephanie Rule described the tactic as the ultimate workaround for the government. Listen, the ultimate workaround for the government to require participation. All right. Because, again, they'll say, oh, well, we're not forcing you to do these things. But, according to company policies. All right. Who's in bed with these companies? The government. Right. And now in this scenario, they're talking about actual governmental employees, and the people that are contracted or subcontracted through the government. All right. It says Republican lawmakers and pundits, however, immediately denounced it as illegal and unconstitutional, with some urging private companies to resist and rebel. All right. And we can already go into the scriptures or certain scriptures come into mind about these different things. All right. The sedition of men, a sedition amongst men. All right. And not regarding their kings and their princes. All right. Because, We just seen them with the lockdowns destroy a lot of the economy and shut down small businesses and things like that. You know, now you have the government stepping up and taking over certain things and just people employed by these things. And now if people can't work, they can't feed their families. All right. They get evicted and it's going to turn out to an all out chaotic state. All right. It says, it is absolutely unconstitutional, tweeted Representative Thomas Massie of Kentucky. OSHA has no more authority to enforce this. There is no statutory authorization. Then CDC had to issue an eviction moratorium, which is to say they both have zero authority to do these things. Congress makes the laws in a constitutional republic, all right? But nevertheless, again, most people don't understand any of these terms and things like that. Like they think that, like, for instance, the IRS, all right, or what's the other one called? Like they think the IRS and things like that, the Federal Reserve and things like that. You know, these are governmental institutions owned by the U.S. government, which they're not, right? But they still be like, oh, well, you know, it's called the Federal Reserve, so obviously it's federal, it's the government, just like FedEx. It's called Federal Express, all right? But it's not owned by the government. It's just a play in the jargon on the name, all right? It says these are just certain tweets. It says those businesses should openly rebel against any such rules. All right. It says comment on the mandate for federal workers. Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers argued the authorization Biden-Harris administration is ignoring science and using fear, control, and mandates to undermine confidence in, the jab, basically. All right. Hey, and the way that they're moving is making a lot of people, fearful of just how they react. You know, it's like somebody come up to you like, here, drink this. Like, why you want me to drink this so bad? What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? It'd been different if you came up like, hey, man, you thirsty or something like that? And I might have been like, well, maybe I might want something to drink or something like that. But you just keep constantly forcing somebody to do something. They look at you a little strange. All right. It says he's demented, tweeted Blake Masters, a GOP candidate for the U.S. Senate in Arizona, calling the mandates wildly disproportionate response, just about power and control. Tennessee Republican Robbie Starbuck, who is running for Congress in 2022, said it was time to resist and urged GOP legislators, mayors, governors, and attorney generals to do so. Biden's overreach cannot go unchecked. Now it's time to fight for our voters' freedoms in America, he tweeted. And ultimately, you know, you have I forgot what place it was at. It's one of these states where they had the police chief and all the police officers resign. And you already know what they're setting up for, man. All out chaos, man. All right. Jacob's Trouble. All right. Hillbilly Elegy. Author J.D. Vance, who is running for the U.S. Senate in Ohio, called the mandates morally reprehensible and dubbed Biden as a joteric tyrant who talks about millions of Americans as if they're nothing more than vermin to be ruled by him and his friends. Do not comply, Vance argued or urged Americans, calling for mass civil disobedience. So you see the underlying tone of what they're talking about here, right? So it's not going to be any surprise when these things actually start, you start seeing uprises and protests and everything else like that, man. All right. It says, pundit Candace Owens engaged in a flight of fancy, wondering what would happen if all federal employees refused to play ball with dictator Biden and went on strike. Much of the federal bureaucracy, however, is sympathetic to the Democrats. And ultimately, you know, they have the power to be able to change a lot of these things, because all they got to do is allow all these people to, let's say, not like this and quit and everything else like that. All right, and you got an empty office building. It's like, you know what? We're going to start offering jobs and we'll pay y'all a minimum of, let's say, $50 an hour. You know, stupid ass people are going to jump on that anyway, and then they'll just regulate them around anyway. So they're creating a divide amongst all these people, those that want to participate and those that don't want to participate. All right, just to further ostracize and demonize those that don't want to participate. Like, well, shit, these folks over here making $50 an hour, you know, while y'all over here starving, why would you do this to yourself and to your children? All right, this is why these people shouldn't be allowed into the society and everything else like that. We have to point them out. We have to call the police on them. We have to report them because they're not responsible Americans. All right. So nevertheless, you know, this is a divisive tactic that's being used to ultimately, cause this here division and set it up for, Jacob's trouble, all out chaos and things like that. All right. It says Biden campaign in 2020 on a promise to shut down the virus and impose mask mandates immediately upon taking office, only for the U.S. to experience a surge of cases over the summer. Slakia. It says, attributed to the Delta variant of the pandemic, his new plan doubles down on making testing and participating a requirement. All right. According to the White House, its goal is to reduce the number of the unparticipants Americans by using regulatory powers, all right, and other actions to substantially increase the number of Americans covered by the jab requirements that will become dominant in the workplace. So again, you can see how this is that noose that's being tightened around the neck to force you to do these things that no man might be able to buy or sell. All right. What is the reason that people go to work? All right. Very few people go to work because they like their job. Right. You have some people that do that, and these people will be like your golfers, basketball players, and things. They go to work because they actually like doing what the hell that they do. But for the majority of you Americans, you don't really like the job that you're doing. It's just, hey, pay the bills, man. All right, this is what I got to do to pay the bills, put food on the table, and provide for my family. All right. Now, when you get to a point in case to where it's like, you can't provide for your family, what do you think people are going to wind up doing, man? All right. Let's jump into some scriptures. Not going to make this too long, but we're going to just get straight to the point. Revelation 13 and 16. All right. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands or in their foreheads. So everybody, all right, is going to have to participate in these things. All right. You've already seen how they've weakened down the mom and pops establishments. All right. And there's a lot of people and giving out this unemployment and things like that, which they pretty much started chopping that down recently. But nevertheless, if people want to get back onto these things, or people want to get back into these jobs, they have to be, willingly participate into these things, man. All right. So, no matter what, whether you working for the government, not for the government, you have a small business or anything else like that, or you're in these companies with these 100 employees or more, all right, it's going to cause you to have to participate. And anything smaller than that, you won't be able to afford anything. The prices of everything is going up. So again, well, let me read the next one. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So this is how they're going to coerce you into getting and participating into these things, man. All right, well, look, you need food, to feed your family and groceries and things like that, man. You got to pay rent, right? You got to be able to pay for these things like that, man. All right, or you want to continue to receive these here governmental benefits and everything else like that, man. All right, child support, food stamps, Section 8, all these different things, student loan, all these different things, man. They could just attach to this. Look, if you want, to go into these different, participate in a lot of these different things, you have to participate medically, man. We're seeing them saying these things about certain colleges, certain jobs, and everything else like that, man. So it's not far-fetched to see, not even far-fetched to see. We see these things happening as we speak right now. Like the scriptures say, the vision is yet for an appointed time. Now it's speaking loud and clear. Now you're seeing it happening in real time, man. All right, so there is no question or no doubt about that, for one, the scriptures are real. The prophecies are real. The Lord gave the truth to a group of people. All right, we just so happen to be a part of that group that's telling you the truth about these things, and you're seeing it being played out, man. All right, but nevertheless, let me grab this real quick. These things are all going to start, well, let me read this first real quick. These things are going to all turn out to be what? Jacob's trouble. Revelations 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. All right, so hey, he's about to try to fill his belly, and this is like when in the book of Job where it says when he's about to fill his belly, then the Most High is going to rain it upon him while he is eating. All right, and you see how he's moving swiftly right now, man. All right, but nevertheless, he's going to come down with you having great wrath. All right, and part of this great wrath is like, look, man, we'll starve y'all all out, starve y'all all to death. If you don't want to participate, if you don't want to get in line and get in order, we'll starve you to death. We'll take your kids away. We'll take your benefits away. We'll evict you out of your houses and everything else like that. All right, they let people stop paying bills for so long. All right, and then now all of a sudden, like, hey, if you don't want to participate, we can just evict your ass. So you'll be homeless. And think about how hard it's going to be for you to find more housing nowadays when you got to put a down payment down, or what they call a deposit down on this here house, and you can no longer receive governmental benefits like unemployment. You haven't been working in the last couple months anyway because you quit your job to get the unemployment. And then even if you go and try to get a job, you still have to participate in these things. So now you out here screwed, man. All right. Let me go from here to 2nd Esdras. Second Esdras 15, verse 14. It says, "Woe to the inhabitants, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." All right. And so ultimately, this is what it's, you're like reading an article, they're already citing, hey, you guys should rebel. You guys should stop doing these things. You guys should stand up against the sincere government and things like that, man. All right. And they're talking about governors and mayors and things like that. But how much more on a smaller level with the regular people that work at these establishments, man? All right, go on and protest your job and go do this and go do that. So these people stand up for their so-called rights and their families and things like that, man. All right. "For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions stand in their power." So we just read in the article how they were telling some of these governors and stuff like that to resist their higher powers, their higher ups and everything else like that. And, on a smaller level, you have people like in these restaurants that saying, look, if you voted for Biden or if you're with these things, don't come to our business and don't go and do these things and that, Some people are saying that these laws that they're pushing are unconstitutional and they're not following after these different laws and everything else like that. All right. But nevertheless, this is all a preparation for what? All out chaos, Jacob's trouble and things like that, man. We're coming into real dark times, real hard times, man. All right. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled and the houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid." All right. "And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." So how long do you think it's going to be, all right, when people start getting fired from their jobs because they don't want to participate and they can't get another job because they hadn't participated, and if the groceries in their house start running out, and then they can't even go in the grocery store to go buy groceries because they didn't participate. All right, and they're sitting over here looking at their neighbor that they don't like. You know what I'm saying? The neighbor don't like them. They always calling the police on them. Maybe it's a Karen and everything else like that. All right, how long do you think that they're going to continue on like this before they go over there next door? Like, well, shit, I ain't got nothing to lose anyway. I done lost everything. I'm left out here for dead anyway. Might as well go ahead and put it to these people's head and just fucking keep it moving, man. All right? So we see and we understand how these things are all shaping up. I was going to... Nevertheless, because I don't want this video to get ruined by the sound of this here rain that's going on outside. But nevertheless, hey, we're in these times that, well, let me grab it real quick. Habakkuk 2 and 3. "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." All right. These are the times we've been telling you about, warning you about, to prepare for. Now they're all here, and now what are you going to do? You have a lot of people that are unsure. The division amongst their families, and people are looking at them all strange and everything else like that, man. You're supposed to be doomsday prepping the whole time. Have a contingency plan, man. All right. And the only profitable contingency plan is what? Trusting on the Most High, man. All right. If you hadn't been being built up, all right, and exercising your faith and trusting the Most High all the way up until this point in time, you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know how to really act in these times, man. You're going to resort to carnal means and things like that, which is not going to get you anywhere. All right. So, hey, man, pretty much for you, it's a lose-lose situation. But, hey, he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. So, look, we're going to have faith all the way out to the end and trust in the Most High to deliver us from these things, man. All right. We can grab that as well, too. We'll close out there. Revelation 3 and 10, it says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth." So like I said, man, you should have had your doomsday plan put together, your quote-unquote bug-out bag, man. All right, and the only thing you need in your bug-out bag is a whole bag full of faith, man, and trust in the Most High, man. All right, but most of you people, you don't got all those things, man. All right, you put your trust and your faith into your job, your money, all these different things like that, man. All right, well, shit, I'm over here. I'm on my own little land and everything like that. I got my own little business. I got my own job making great money. But guess what? Now, they can circumvent all those things, man. All right, now what are you going to do? All right. But nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us his truth and that rule well. A citation and much love for you, Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say stay strong. Shalom.